Hello, everyone, and welcome to another My Music. And today I'm going to be speaking to the wonderful Jack, who's coming from. Where are you coming from, Jack?
I am coming from Los Angeles, California.
Wow,
Yeah,
cool. What's the temperature like there at the moment?
it's a bit rainy this week, actually.
Oh, is it?
Surprisingly, finally
Yeah.
got it. Yeah,
Right, you're disappointing me now. It's cold here in the UK. It's really, really cold still. But
yeah,
we're going
sure.
to warm up with this conversation as soon as we get past this little video from the Analog Trash people. Thank you to them for putting this on.
Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop.
Gosh, I realised just then that I must have been editing very quiet video prior to this interview, and when that came on, it completely blasted my ears. But there we go.
Yeah. I had to turn down the volume a little bit, but it was perfect.
It was great. It was like a massive wake up. So, Jack, tell me. I mean, you make some great pop music, my friend. What sort of started you off along the route of making the type of music that you make now?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long journey. I started singing and performing when I was 4 years old in church choir, and I did musical theater. I did 2 shows a year all the way up until end of high school from that time.
Wow. So you've just been singing. Now look,
Yeah.
come on. Right, I'm gonna break into your story a little bit, right? Because loads of people start with I sang at school or I sang in a choir or whatever.
Yeah.
Going back there, how old do you say you were? What, when you started in the choir at church? Or
I was 4.
4 years old.
Choir, yeah.
Wow. Can you remember any of the songs that you used to sing? Were they like traditional songs, or were they like more? Was it a more modern church? Was it like Pentecostal, or was it like?
Yeah, it was a lot of traditional music, but also, some. I just thought the songs were really fun. I do remember some of them, but not as much. I kind of learned how to sing from a young age, but I didn't know what a technique was, but I kind of learned from mimicking, and that's something that I've taken with me, is just like, hearing things in other people that I really admire and then trying to figure out how to do that with my voice. And so
Okay. So I need to ask you at this point then, right? So who was the first recording artist that you listened to that you tried to mimic, that you tried to sound like?
That's a really good question. I loved powerhouse vocalists when I was younger. So like my parents would play Whitney Houston and
that's a big voice. Right?
yeah, definitely. I can't mimic her, but I wanted to try. Like I love Lionel Richie, and John Legend and Michael Bublé. Like, I think Michael Bublé was one of the people that I was, kind of like, okay, I think I can try to find, his tone and, just like try to mimic that. But I just wanted to sound
those timing elements with Bublé as well. That is because
yeah, because he sings. I don't know. There's certain parts that are really low, and then certain parts that are more light and airy. So he kind of goes in and out of that. So that was kind of cool. And yeah, I just think I always wanted to be able to sing really powerfully and send a message through my voice, but also tell a story through the lyrics. And so I've always just been inspired by lyricists and vocalists. So that's kind of what I've been trying to blend together in my music.
That's so cool. Can you remember along the way who were the best encouragers to you? Who were the people that sort of gave you the nudge that you should do it?
I'm very lucky that my whole family was really, really supportive of just everything that I did. and they kind of just always told me, you know, if I went to them and said, I really want to do this, I really want to do that. And I was the type of kid, like I had a lot of creative aspirations. You know, I wanted to do acting. I wanted to be on TV. I wanted to sing. And my mom's just like, okay, you know, we'll take you to that audition. We'll take you like,
wow.
You know, like one time I, you know, got scouted at the mall. And so then I was just trying to be on, you know, Disney Channel or Nickelodeon. My mom's like, all right, we'll take you to the DoubleTree Hotel and see if this goes anywhere. And so I think that everything that I wanted to do, my parents were just like, you know, we're going to take you as far as we can and see if it, you know, goes anywhere. But yeah, luckily I just kind of always had that support, which I definitely didn't take for granted. But it's just, yeah, really been nice that everyone around me is very supportive. So it's not
sounds like you made a lot of opportunities along the way, but you didn't get all of those opportunities. So, you know, some of the things that didn't happen. How did you learn to like kind of, I suppose, deal with the disappointment of not achieving things and then, you know, come out stronger the other side? How did that work for you?
That's a great question. I think especially in high school doing musical theater, I dedicated my life to the drama program, and I did improv and choir, and I really wasn't as much of an academic back then. But, you know, I had been in the most shows of anyone in my grade, and I still never got a lead. And, you know, they would try to use my voice for different things, but like just didn't think that my acting abilities were there. And I felt really bad about myself when those things were happening, because I'm like, you know, they tell you there are no small parts, and that you need to be patient and that you have to be
grateful. But inside that doesn't feel true, does it?
No, it feels like, you know, I waited until my senior year to throw a fit, because I'm like, this is when I deserve to at least be given an opportunity to read for these parts. And I wasn't given that. And I think that was, looking back, that was not about me. I think it was more about them, and they were very not super open-minded. And I think that taught me a lot. And looking back, you know, we can only control so much. And I try to just not take those things personally. But I'm glad that I've had a lot of rejection in my life, because rejection's redirection, and it has given me grit. And I think grit is a really important thing to have, especially as an artist. You know, to be told no so many times that you eventually have to sit down with yourself and be like, at the end of the day, sometimes the only yes I'm going to get is from me. And that has to be enough, that if everyone slams in the door in my face, I know that this is what I meant to do, and I'm going to keep pushing forward.
Oh, absolutely. Resilience is, you know, a massive thing in all walks of life, and all business, etc. But no more so than when you're a singer-songwriter performer, you know, because you're going to have that time and time again. Does that kind of creep into what you write about? Does that, you know, that perseverance, that resilience?
It does. I write a lot about mental health, and I write it, you know, writing for me is a form of therapy. And so if I'm going through something, you know, I'll just write in my notes, whether it's sometimes a line, a sentence, a little poem, whatever it may be. A lot of the time I turn that into lyrics, and I try not to filter it. I try to just write free form and just kind of say how I feel. But, you know, I have written a lot about certain situations that have made me feel not the most confident, and that have tested my, you know, my mental strength. And so I try to write about these situations as vividly as I can. But I think turning these situations into some sort of art that I can put out in the world is the best thing to do with that, you know.
When did you first start writing? When did it actually first really, come from that singing in the performances or whatever to I've actually got something to say in the world as well?
Yeah, that's a great question. It was around my junior, senior year of high school. I think that those are really pivotal years when you're kind of finally, you're learning a lot about yourself. And there's so much going on at that time. And I was just experiencing a lot at that time. And I was in a literature class my senior year where we had to write a lot of poetry. And my teacher was the sweetest, most brilliant person, one of the best people I've ever known. And she was so wise, and she treated us like adults. And she made me feel seen, and she made me feel like I could share and that I wouldn't be shut down, and that I could be myself. So I started writing a lot of poems, and, she would give me feedback, and, she would tell me I'm a good writer. And that allowed me to be more honest and more honest and more honest. And, when that wasn't met with, negativity, I was like, wow, this is really healing. And so
was it then just putting the two and two together and going, I can sing and I'm writing stuff, and actually this is
that was right when I was like, I don't think that I want to go to college for musical theater. Like, this is not feeling right anymore, which was really sad because that had been something I'd done my whole life. And I felt like at the time, if I can't get a lead here, I'm not going to get into any great school, which wasn't true. I know looking back that wasn't true, but I felt like it was true. And at the end of the day, I love, the singing part of musical theater, and I love going to shows. And eventually, that might be a path that I go down again, but really my passion is songwriting and singing. So I'm glad that I went to the direction that I did.
Yeah, so am I. I think you probably know deep down as well that at some point that will probably naturally come back round for you if you want it to. And that's cool, isn't it?
Yeah. And I know that will happen one day, because it's definitely in my bones. And I learned how to sing. I learned how to sing by non-classical voice, taking master classes and having a vocal coach. I never professionally learned how to sing pop music. So that's been something that I've had to learn over time.
Yeah. Do you think you might do a Sarah Bareilles one day and write a musical?
I've written little bits of things, but I have a lot of aspirations to do that. I think that would be really cool. But again, this is all going to my millions of creative aspirations that I have. We'll see what happens, but I'm very open when it comes to creating things. So
yeah, where's the creative aspiration right this minute? What's right on the agenda for you at the moment?
I am working on. I released my debut EP last year, and I'm working on another EP that is a little bit longer. I'm not ready for a debut album, but I just want to, I think of music in projects, so it's hard for me to just release a lot of singles without picturing them in a body of work. I will be releasing, a bunch of singles prior to that, but it's been really fun to kind of put together what is this world that this project is in, because I'm really passionate about aesthetics and photo shoots and visuals, and I'm always picturing a music video in my head, for my music. So kind of picturing how I'm going to execute this in a way that I am proud of. It takes time, and so I have most of the songs done. But yeah, I'm going to release another single next month, and I'm kind of just working through how I'm going to roll out the project, but I'm really excited to share more about it.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit more about the sort of theme of this next project? What sort of thing are you writing about?
Yeah, so I think my debut EP, Dead Boy Walking, that came out last year, I think that was a cultivation of years of experiences that needed to be healed and released. And so some of those experiences are from when I was, 18, 19, 20, 21. Like it was just a cultivation of the best songs of those times that I needed to let go.
Like greatest hits of your early life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I felt like after that, first of all, I wanted to talk about more present day things. And second of all, I think it's really great to trust your instincts and trust your gut when it comes to making your music. But I also wanted to sort of question myself and try new things and experiment a little bit more and just approach it a little bit differently than I did with the EP. So I think that just already makes it more mature, more present day. These are songs that I've written in real time that are about current things going on. And so I think it's different in that way. It's still very vulnerable. But the way I see the project is there's some songs that represent, naivete. When you're wanting things from other people or from yourself, that's kind of like naive and a little bit immature and hopeful, because I have that side of me that is very, hopeful about good things happening. And then there's a side of the project that's a lot more jaded. And I think that those songs come in many different forms. I have definitely some more fun songs than I had on my previous EP. Definitely the darker songs, more experimenting. It's really different from
so there's a lot of light and shade in this.
Yeah.
And you're trying to find balance. You're trying to find
I'm trying to find, first of all, I think that all of these emotions can and do live in the same world, and that everyone experiences all of these highs and lows, and that emotions are not black and white. There's a lot of different feelings that come along with these emotions. And so not only that, like kind of trying to express all these different emotions, but also, I do like picturing that there's one song on the project that they would like, not that I'm forcing that or I'm trying different genres to like make other people happy, but I've had fun trying new genres that I didn't think that I would step into at all. Like, I've kind of fallen in love with house music and dance music a little bit more. And I think that my voice works really well on songs like that. And that was something I kind of discovered in the last year or two.
Yeah.
And so finding a world where, I can make those songs, but also still have the lyrics and the story be impactful, and not just throwaway lyrics, is really important to me. I just want every song broken down on acoustic guitar to hit you,
Do you quite like that as you do that, as you kind of expand your repertoire in terms of genres that you're playing with, that it opens up your listening as a listener of music as well? Do you find that?
Yeah, I think so. It definitely does. But also I would say part of my wanting to experiment is from being inspired by artists and new production styles, and hearing things that really touch me.
Yeah.
What's
really touched you in the last few years as a listener? What's really made you go, oh wow, that is
a lot. I think Ryan Beatty is one of my favorite artists. He has an album called Calico, and it made me feel seen in a way that I can't really explain. Like, there are certain songs I listen to and it makes me it's hard not to cry.
Wow.
Because it brings me to places that I've been emotionally in my life that I'm not anymore. And so sometimes it's like healing my old self in certain ways and thinking about what my perspective was back then. And, you know, there's been a lot of me trying to make peace with my younger self. Because I feel really bad about some of the things that happened, but because I think I was really naive, and because I think I hoped for the best in people, and I think that I got taken advantage of sometimes, and I was just like lost. And so that album is something that really impacted me, because when an artist says something in a way that you've never heard it before, but you've felt so vividly, it just kind of takes your breath away. So I think that album has been on repeat for sure.
Do you know some of the best? I was just thinking while you were talking about that, some of the best albums ever have been from that kind of perspective. And if you think about it, have had like maybe like a picture on the front of a youngster, because it's the artist when they looking back at when they were young or whatever, and then where that naivety has been broken down into the messiness of life, and they've kind of unpacked that. So it's a great place to be.
It is, yeah. I think I try to mix, that album is extreme. It's like raw live instruments, so beautiful. It's definitely a slow album. It's not like there's no bops or anything. But like I'm in love with that type of music. Just singer-songwriter, raw, just, heart wide open. And then I also love pop music, just pop music for whatever pop music is. So I try to blend the two of them. And sometimes I may go towards a ballad. Sometimes I may go towards, pop. But at the end of the day, the story always needs to be there. And I think that sometimes it's just whatever the production style that's going to benefit this story and these lyrics best, that's what I'm going to do. But I want all of them to be just as impactful acoustically.
I think that's brilliant. Do you think that you'll leave an album until the point where you've got a complete story to say on something? Do you think it'll feel like that's...
I think I'll know.
I think you'll know, yeah?
Yeah, I think I have a lot of goals to reach before that. I think right now I'm kind of like knocking on doors, like, hear me, hear me, hear me. And that's it's a fun part of my development, is just trying to build my audience and trying to do that just by being myself and showing people that it's okay. You should be 100% yourself. And I'm just trying to, again, just be me in my music and see how people connect to it. So I think when I release an album, I'll want it to be, maybe I'll be signed, maybe I'll have more of a budget for videos and things like that, because I wouldn't release an album where I can't do like great visuals. And I want to do it right. I'm very, very, very specific about things I do.
If you love the visuals, do you think that a really cool way to sort of transition into that whole next sphere would be for some of your music to get into film or TV series or something?
Yeah.
Where would you love?
That's something that I've actually been working on this year. I've had a lot of conversations about that, and I've made some songs that are kind of geared towards film and television. So I definitely want to get more into sync and publishing. But like I've done some licensing projects, and I definitely want to get my music into film and television.
Well, there you go. Listen, if you're watching and you're making a Netflix series or film or whatever, just get in touch with Jack.
Yeah,
just
please.
You know.
Anything you need, I can make a song on the spot. Whatever you need. Yeah, but I think some of my songs, I hear them and I'm like, yeah, these would be great in a movie or, you know, in some sort of soundtrack. I don't know. I'm biased.
No, well, we hope that happens for you, Jack. Jack, it's been an absolute pleasure. Look how time's just flown by. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here to talk to us, and we hope that this has been the inspiration to now get people to go and listen to your music. But don't just listen, as I always say. Add it to playlist.
Yeah.
Stop. Talk to Jack on Instagram or any of the socials and let him know how you found the music and what it makes you feel, because that's what artists need. That's what it's all about. Jack, if there's one thing that people out there can do for you right now, what would it be?
You can follow me on Instagram at Jack Drinker Music. My YouTube, just look up Jack Drinker. I do have a couple music videos out with songs, and follow me on Spotify. Like Graham said, add me to your playlists. Yeah, I'm also on TikTok. Just stay in touch with me because I have a lot of music coming out soon that I'm excited about.
That's brilliant. Jack, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today. Thank you so much for dropping by.
Graham, thank you so much for having me. I'm honored and really appreciative, and your questions were amazing. So thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you. Folks, it's been another MyMusic with the wonderful Jack Drinker, and I hope you have a great rest of the day, whatever it is you're doing, but just put some of Jack's music on while you're doing it. Okay? Yeah. That's the important thing. We'll be back soon with another MyMusic. Until then, look after yourselves. I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.
Bye.